Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Bommer and Griffin, the show where we talk about that one time that I threw a boomerang and how for the past 3 years I have lived in constant fear. Once again, I am joined by Jackson, and today we are talking about Nobody. So you saw this when it came out?
I saw it in cinemas with my dad, yes.
Nice. This is one that
He didn't really like it.
no, didn't like it.
Yeah, he said it wasn't his thing.
Yeah, for me, I had kind of a preconceived idea of what exactly the movie was, and that it would be good, but I felt like I kind of knew what the movie was. And so it was something I just never got around to seeing. And unfortunately, it kind of was exactly what I thought it was. And I was hoping for something a little bit, I don't want to say deeper. You know, that's not something you really want to take from this, but something with a little bit more weight than what it eventually became. And
Mm.
I did enjoy it. I thought it was good, but I've got my problems with it. But once again, here we go. Isla Isla, the guy that directed Hardcore Henry, and we were talking about this just before we started. We knew we were going to butcher this name, but yes, the returning director from Hardcore Henry, and I had no idea he directed this. This was a great surprise. All of a sudden, I
Yeah,
went, oh,
no. I when my dad asked me if I wanted to watch it, he said it was directed by the same guy who did John Wick, but I think it's written by the same guy.
yeah, it's
Who's
written
wrote-
by Derek, I think's his name. He wrote all three John Wick films, and he wrote this one as well.
Yeah. But
Can't
then when the
remember.
credits came up, it said directed by Ilya Naishuller, and I was like, holy shit, that was Hardcore Henry? He
Yeah,
did
yeah,
for a moment I was like, holy shit, that guy did John Wick as well?
yeah. No,
But no, he didn't do John Wick.
no. But yes,
Yeah,
written by the same people. But
he
yeah, it was
also,
a big
yeah, he
surprise.
did a couple really, really cool music videos.
That's right, he did. Starting with "Bad Motherfucker," and he also did
That
that one Russian
Russian
song,
circus one.
the Russian
If you
circus.
search Russian circus music video in reverse, you'll find
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Russian disaster in reverse.
Yeah, basically.
I wonder if you just punch those keywords into YouTube, if that'll actually bring
Yeah,
up the
no.
music video.
Well, if you search Russian reverse circus music video, you'll definitely find it. But this he's a very creative director, but I feel like a lot of that creativity isn't really in this film.
No, I was gonna say that. Like his
Um,
style, I suppose you feel a little bit of it with.
I mean, I didn't expect it to be all in first person like Hardcore Henry was.
Yeah,
Um,
it's hard to get a feel for his style when that's like the only media of his we've consumed. But I only kind of felt it with maybe when it's jump cutting between the days at the very start, like the montaging.
yeah,
There was hints of it, but yeah, ultimately, I don't want to say it's uninspired. It's the whole movie's very much a John Wick clone. Like that's what it is. This is the Hobbs and Shaw of the fucking John Wick franchise.
mm.
Um,
It's not really shy about that fact either.
no,
The poster is like,
it's just yeah, it's
I
a
yeah,
direct
it's
nod.
pretty much a direct parody.
Yeah, and with
Um,
the same writing team and or same writer and same everything. I was really like, okay, what's something fresh you could really bring to the table? And the biggest thing that I can say is that Bob Odenkirk is the real reason why you come to watch this movie because I
yeah,
would
he
love
can
to say that I'm
kill
a
it.
huge fan, even though he's a tremendous actor, but I only know him from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, which I'm currently watching. And it's cool seeing him in a role that's completely different than a sleazy lawyer.
Mm.
I
Yeah,
feel
no,
like
he's done a lot of comedy stuff in the past.
yeah,
A few things I've seen.
yeah,
Um,
I think he did tremendous here.
but yeah, he's a really really good. He's a very very good actor. And
He
this
is. Uh,
watching this film also gave me a lot of appreciation for the makeup team in Better Call Saul because he is Bob Odenkirk. If you actually look at him, like outside of Better Call Saul, he is really like he looks nothing like he does in Better Call Saul.
No?
He's way younger, obviously,
Yeah,
but like,
right.
yeah, yeah,
I
and
had
like
no
in this
idea.
movie, he looks like way older than he does in Better Call Saul, and even though they filmed it like the same time.
Yeah. Well, we might get into Better Call Saul a little bit later, but I wanted
Oh
to run
yeah,
through.
that's pretty much all I wanted to mention.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. But I'll run through some of the bigger plot beats, just things I had written down,
yep,
and we'll work our way through the film. And if there's anything in particular you want to bring up, I know you know some interesting things about this film. Just feel free to butt in, I suppose.
I
Um,
guess.
so uh, the first thing I got written down was how when Hutch is checking on his kids, he sees his son's room, and his son makes the gesture that there's been a break in. Um,
Mhm.
Somehow in the dark he's able to notice that the gun's not loaded. I
Well, we knowing what's like revealed about him later, that isn't a huge surprise. Like that's not a huge leap to take
I
that he could
suppose,
notice something like that.
but it's dark and like, could you really like not counting there being at least one bullet in the chamber?
I mean,
I
yeah,
don't know.
the the funny thing is on a revolver, the one like the one part of the cylinder you can't really see is the one that would be like chambered.
Yeah, that's what I was. I don't
But
know.
I guess if you can see that some of them are empty, then it's like, yeah, whatever, right? May as well
Yeah.
take a gamble on that.
Um,
Um,
he th- this man and his never-ending constant failure of trying to catch the garbage truck. Can I just talk about
I did want to mention that
that? He
because I
just
started living alone not that long ago,
yeah.
and I am constantly forgetting. Like, I'll be on my way to work on a Friday,
Yeah.
and I'll be like, "Fuck, I forgot to take the bins out today."
I actually
Um,
forgot this week. I'm
I
fighting
will
it at the
forget
moment.
tomorrow morning.
Yeah. Yeah, I just this man struggled. I just wanted to just bring it up and share it. He just can't catch a break catching this.
Yeah,
But he's really
because
doing his family a huge disservice. You know, they're really counting on him, and he's got not much better to do with his time.
mm,
You'd think after the years of retiring from this kind of service that he's done that he'd be able to get this, getting the bin out down pat. But no, I mean, even his
yeah,
wife has like the savage line, "Hey, like you didn't take out the bin, you forgot it
yeah,
again." He knows he forgot it. She's just cruel woman.
yeah. She doesn't seem very pleasant at the start. Um,
She's okay. I don't
but
honestly mind her that much.
yeah, no, she's not like that bad.
No,
Um, she's
I,
she's just a bit, eh.
yeah,
She
I
she doesn't seem to at the start of the film. She doesn't seem to treat him like they don't seem to have that great of a relationship. But and they've got
I
like the
mean, yeah,
pillows on their
yeah,
bed
yeah. They
too.
sleep with a pillow wall. Like, you really do that, or do you just I just go sleep on the couch, like, you
Yeah,
know.
I mean, I guess the bed's more comfortable.
Yeah, like no one's conceding the bed, so they're just building a
Yeah,
fort of the Great Wall of pillows.
yeah.
Um, I tell you what, one casting choice that did surprise me, and I had no idea, was Christopher
Crystal,
Lloyd.
yeah,
He's in this
yeah,
movie. And I
definitely.
was like, what? I couldn't believe that. And
Mm,
I, it was just amazing seeing him here. I mean, he brings such a comedic presence to it. The whole film
yeah.
has a very, comedic underlying tone. I mean,
Oh yeah, no, it's a very funny
yeah,
movie.
you can take it seriously when, Bob Odenkirk's doing his thing, but when he is, like, yelling at the top of his lungs, the kitty cat bracelet, motherfucker! It's a bit hard to not laugh and smile at it.
Hmm.
um,
Yeah.
One thing I really appreciate about this film is that I like the fact that the chaos that ensues is out of his own quest for blood. It's not him being like reluctantly dragged into it. Kind of like John
Yeah, no.
Wick. I mean, like, John Wick has his dog killed, so he
Yeah, no,
comes
John
back.
Wick does like get himself into all that.
I suppose, but with
Well, I mean
this,
after the second home invasion, because obviously they come to his house again,
yeah,
which is similar to what happens in this film. Um
yeah.
it
He's just, I don't know. He's lust for blood. He just kind of lashes out.
but
He
yeah.
just needs to. and I thought it
I
was
mean, yeah,
immensely
that's
satisfying.
pretty much exactly what happens on the bus, which is my favorite scene in the film.
It's my favorite as well.
It's
Yeah, hang on.
yeah, no, this is something I wanted to touch on. We'll talk about the bus scene in isolation for now. What did you think of that one?
Uh,
I think it's fucking brilliant
yeah,
action
I
scene.
could jump to the bus scene, man. I mean, yeah, for me, what's great is that the whole film has really had a lot of build up to this moment. It hasn't just jumped into it
We didn't
like
give
John Wick.
we should give a spoiler warning at some point.
Yeah, let's spoiler warning, guys. If you haven't seen Nobody, I do recommend it. But yeah, we're about to talk about everything.
Yeah, I mean before yeah,
I
okay.
already spoiled the kitty cat bracelet, motherfucker. I mean, yeah, go watch it.
Um yeah.
So this bus
I just
scene,
wanted to get that one out of the way. I
yeah, no,
just realized
I
I forgot.
appreciate it. I'm sure
Yeah,
a couple
bus scene.
people will appreciate it. But yes,
Um
this film, unlike John Wick, takes a long time building up to when he finally has that moment where he switches on, and I like that straight away. Once you think that he's on, he just gets punched in the face hard.
yeah.
He doesn't just pick this
Like
up.
he
'Cause
empties his gun, he makes a big show
yeah,
of
yeah,
it,
and then just
and
gets
then he just gets
clocked.
decked
And
in the fucking mouth.
I like that, if he might not have done this for 10 years, that he's rusty, has to get back into it. And the way he fights is the more punishment he
Yeah.
takes, the
Like
stronger
the
he gets, like he's the Hulk or something, and just keeps
yeah, the
coming
first
harder.
like half of the fight, he's like constantly getting his ass kicked. And
Yeah.
then when he gets chucked out the window and he goes back in the bus for more,
Yeah.
and that's just when like he just starts like killing them
Yeah, yeah,
with the
he
knife and
starts
shit.
going off.
And he like breaks that guy's arm on
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
fucking pole. It's like, yeah, that scene's fucking
Oh, yeah, for me it was
awesome.
the first few knife shots. Like, once he got
Yeah.
back on
When he just like starts fucking going at that guy like he's Michael Myers.
yeah. Yeah, I think what makes it great, specifically, like what makes it, I guess, stand out apart from like John Wick, is the vulnerability. Him just not being a perfect like headshot cheat code kind of guy like John Wick is. John Wick walks into a room,
Well, I mean,
waves his hands around, and then everyone just dies. And I
yeah.
love that, but it was really refreshing seeing someone get themselves beaten up just as much. He's doing
that
it,
is
but
something I kind of have to criticize about some of the later action scenes. That I
yeah,
feel like they lose the
yeah,
like the gritty realism that I liked from the first couple. Like this, the home invasion where he fucks everyone up. I also love that scene.
yeah.
I think that one is awesome.
Yeah,
Um,
I
but
have that at the end that yeah, it once you get to the end,
when
it
like it's basic like when he gets to the point where he goes and burns all their money, which also happens in John Wick 1.
yeah.
Um and he like I just remember that shot of him just walking through the center of the room while he's holding the painting.
Yeah.
Just like shooting people, and I'm like, yeah, that was when on my first viewing the film started to lose me a bit. Like that was when it
I very
and
much
then
enjoyed it, but
I
yeah.
mean, yeah, I enjoyed the whole thing. There's still enjoyable action scenes to watch,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it it lost what I liked about the first couple, like the boss and I do like the car chase one as well. I think that one's pretty cool.
Yeah, the car
Um,
chase, yeah. I
but I also just really like the song "Heartbreaker" by Pat Benatar.
Yep. I I can't say that I
Few
paid too
really good
much
songs in this
attention.
movie.
Can't say that I paid too much attention to the soundtrack in this movie. But I was going to talk
Um,
about the ending where, yeah, by the end it really does devolve into just John Wick and their headshot cheat code, and everyone's just
hmm,
killing, and it's fun and it's hyper violent, and you've got your little bits of comedy as well, but it loses the weight for me.
yeah,
He's not the guy that was getting punched on the bus and just he's making
hmm,
it, but it looks like he might be getting killed in the process.
yeah.
And if
And the scene at the end where like there's all three of them.
yeah, that's
Um,
what I'm talking about, that scene specifically. However, despite the film devolving into that, you know, and it being a John Wick clone, even down to burning the money and all that stuff, the fun is still to be had here because it's immensely satisfying watching him for the first time taking down those people on the bus, or the amount of payoff that you get down to like him grabbing the gun out of the freezer and then unloading, everything has some
Hmm.
payoff to it, and it's
Yeah.
incredibly satisfying to watch. So, even though the concept is not original, it doesn't mean that it's not a good movie or not fun to watch.
Yeah, no, and there are, things that it does differently from John Wick.
There is,
Um,
it definitely carries much more of like a comedy element to it
yeah,
than.
but I guess I would go so far as to say it does have an identity of its own, even if most of it is based on John Wick.
Yeah,
Generous,
yeah.
generous wording there, but
For me, it was, you got the little bit of fun and the vulnerability of the protagonist this
hmm,
time around. And I also appreciated how, if, the chaos that ensues is out of his own quest for blood, and not being reluctantly dragged into it, like I said, it means the movie's decided that if he's going to lose a family member or someone else, it has so much more weight to it because he's the one that cited all of this to begin with, rather than someone's just come
yeah,
and killed his family. So,
because the original home invasion has nothing to do with the Russian
yeah,
mafia plot. That was all because he attacked the guys on the bus, and the guys on the bus, were probably not um the most pleasant.
no.
They were definitely he's not even necessarily wrong for doing that.
Yeah,
Um, but he is doing it for his own self-satisfaction because this is right after
yeah,
he finds out that he can't get revenge on the people that actually broke into his house because they've got like a cancer baby.
yeah. Like, John Wick doesn't
Um,
say he couldn't kill the Russians that killed his dog. On the bus ride home, he doesn't just take the violence out on people he doesn't know.
yeah.
And I found it a much more interesting dynamic. But I wish the movie really ran with it, like, this feeling of the whole movie. He's just so close to dying every time.
Hmm.
And it's something that Keanu is able to pull off. Like, yes, I really do think he has the headshot cheat code, on all the time. But somehow with Keanu's acting, he makes it look like it's really an effort, or that he's got to just stop and breathe,
Yeah.
and it's annoying that he has to try and
He,
somehow find a creative way to get through it. You know?
yeah, no. Keanu Reeves in John Wick definitely he looks like he would be a skilled enough fighter to be able to do it,
Yeah,
do the stuff he does.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. No, it was.
because he's done a lot of physical training and whatever for John Wick and
Oh
other
yeah,
movies.
yeah. Well, you mentioned that if he hadn't done the training for this movie, he might not have been in Better Call Saul anymore.
Oh yeah, because he had a heart attack while he was filming season 6.
Yeah, right. That's
So
crazy. Yes, yeah.
it was like the second half of season 6.
Yep.
Um, it was actually the first episode of the second half of season 6. Um,
So
and he was literally he's said in interviews and stuff, if he didn't get the CPR and stuff on site, he would have died. And he was told later, or this is information I only heard once, and I haven't actually been able to find a source for it. But apparently, it was the physical training he did for nobody, because he did do a lot of it himself,
yeah,
as much of it as he could. Because he said it was fun doing the action sequences.
yeah.
Apparently, he did 2 years of training
Yeah.
for
Well,
this movie.
yeah. Back on the subject of the movie, I noticed that
Um,
with Eilenish's directing, there's a lot of long and wide shots, so you can really see that it is Bob Odenkirk doing the action sequences. So it
hmm,
doesn't surprise me.
yeah,
Um,
I don't think he was driving the car.
I no, I probably not.
But
Be some contract stipulations there. I tell you what, the one actor that does not have those contract stipulations, or does, but actor just doesn't care, is Tom Cruise. My man
Mm.
wants to strap himself to the side of a plane and take off and like just not care
He's
about
just
the rules.
he's just fucking. Pretty sure Tom Cruise is just suicidal.
Yeah, he's
Um,
just extremely suicidal. You know, he's gonna do
like the
everything he
fucking
can.
scene in whichever Mission Impossible where he's got the knife right next to his eye, and all of
Yeah,
that is done with like a real knife and shit.
I would absolutely love to talk about the Mission Impossible films with you because that's another
That'll
roller
definitely have to
coaster.
happen. Oh
Uh,
fuck!
well, the one's a genuinely good spy film and pretty
I
faithful.
remember I actually had a really good idea for one we had a movie we had to do a podcast on, but I've forgotten now.
That's all right. We
Yeah,
can do it. Bring it up another
we can
time and do
discuss
it.
that another time. Yeah,
And
when I
then the
remember it.
second Mission Impossible, considered the worst, is like the pinnacle of the '90s with a Limp Bizkit soundtrack, and The Matrix definitely didn't come out the year prior because they're trenched in leather jackets and sunglasses doing cartwheels in slow mo. And the whole movie takes place in Australia, and all of the villains' cars aren't like black SUVs. They're all like suburban Australian cars, like you that your dad would drive, in like a pale red or creamy colored like Toyota. It's fucking
Oh, that's
great.
perfect.
Yeah, dude. And then the third one's like a seriously fast-paced action movie. And then from there, they become something else entirely, like how the Fast and Furious franchise kind of
Yeah,
reinvented itself.
we're not here to talk about Mission
Anyway,
Impossible.
yeah, but I would love to talk
It's
about it
happened
at some
last
point.
time, but that was my fault last time.
We've got nothing but time.
Yeah, that's
Where were we? What were we talking about?
we were talking about Bob Odenkirk doing all the stunts.
Yes. But yeah, there's long drawn out shots with no cuts, and that
Yeah, I
does
can't
remind
really
me.
even think of many scenes where they could have had a stunt actor doing it,
Yeah.
because we really do see most of it pretty clearly.
Yeah, I thought that was great because it lets you know there is no stunt double there. It's really him doing it because we're not cutting away, and
Yeah,
yeah, it's fantastic. I'm
you know.
glad that he didn't die. Was this heart attack on set of Better
Yeah,
Call
it was
Saul?
like literally while they were filming episode 8 of season 6. He had a heart attack
Jesus!
on set. The other actors were like there. Um.
Wow. Oh, I'm so glad he's all right.
Oh yeah.
We've got to
He
thank this movie for giving us the rest of that show, which I haven't seen
Oh
yet,
yeah.
but I have a feeling it's going to be really good. So,
I mean the break like half the like midpoint season 6 midpoint is comparable to the season 5 midpoint in Breaking Bad. So just
oh,
imagine if
oh,
after the season 5 midpoint there was never a conclusion because Bryan Cranston died.
oh man, I don't know if I, dude. I mean, you don't even have to say something like that. That's kind of what I get with the Spectacular Spider-Man. It's just that
Mm,
damn good, and it just stops, and
yeah.
your heart sinks. I know the feeling because I've lived it.
But yeah, nah, he's all right.
Thank God.
Yeah.
um,
He's done a lot. He's talked a lot about how the heart attack like really gave him a lot of perspective on stuff.
yep.
Because something like that would
Oh yeah.
uh
As people, we never
nearly
stop growing and never stop learning.
yeah.
Um, so at one point in the film, like it's established earlier on, it'll just have like big text letters for like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and places wherever,
Like The Shining.
like The Shining. And then all of a sudden it says Julian, right,
Yeah.
across a city skyline, and I know that it's a person. I know that he's a person now, but at first I'm thinking, is it a place? What's going
Yeah.
on? It was quite confusing.
The first time I watched it, I was like, I was like, is it switching to a different protagonist? Like,
Yeah, I had no idea.
is this like the introduction of a? I mean, it is the introduction of a new character, and he's
Yeah,
the main villain, so he's a pretty significant one.
yeah.
Um,
The villain for me, he's just
yeah, he's not
not
really got
good.
lots.
No,
He's not really got much to him.
no, he's someone I'm gonna forget very quickly.
Yeah,
Outside of the big bold
he's a good
text that says
singer.
his name. Oh, the singing. Oh god. Yeah, I've noticed, especially like with his introduction, how long it takes following him into his club or whatever, him doing karaoke and then killing a guy just so they can establish that he's bad. very,
Mm.
very easily could have been cut down to explain that. And that's when I realized how much padding is in this movie. I mean, you've got the
Yeah.
scene where the people, like with assault rifles, go into his house and they get him and they put him in the trunk and drive off with him just for Bob Odenkirk to get out with the fire extinguisher, roll the car, get out, just to go
I
back
mean,
home.
that scene with the car does kill off the like black Russian who is
Yes.
kind of set up as like a.
Yeah,
But
there's a lot of underdeveloped characters.
yeah,
But
he really didn't like. Yeah, he was,
he
you
didn't
know, a
he didn't have his
character,
he didn't have his moment.
but he didn't really do that much, really.
No, they were setting him up as like, yeah, watch him do some mad stuff, like the woman that does sign language in John Wick 2. You know, like they've set someone
Hmm.
up and then they actually have a full confrontation. Not here's a car crash and he's just gone.
Yeah, I mean, he's just one of the victims of the running joke where Bob Odenkirk's trying to tell people what his
Oh
backstory,
yes,
and they just die halfway through.
yeah. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Whether that's kind of
It
lazy
honestly
or
just
funny,
reminded
I
me
don't
of
know.
Airplane.
I have no idea how the record player set alight to the entire house. I mean, I know there must have been
I
something
feel
there,
like
but
it
I could not see any alcohol or
obviously.
nothing. Like, what
I
set it
mean,
alight?
I feel like it was just designed as like to do that.
Was the
Um,
music just that bad?
it
Was it
it was a
like
fire soundtrack.
it was a fire soundtrack? That
Um,
was a Nickelback on vinyl.
But like, yeah, he puts like, yeah, because it's obviously designed to do that because he gets the specific record and he puts it on upside down.
Yeah,
Um,
I suppose so. Um,
so there's some kind of system there.
I just remembered another scene. So, uh, Bob
Who
Odenkirk,
even knows what a record
Hutch,
player is?
yeah, Hutch is taking down all the guys on the bus, and they're hospitalized. And Yulian
Are you
comes
talking
into
about the? No, okay. I
Yulian
thought you were
comes
going to
into the
talk about
scene.
the tracheotomy he does on the bus. That's the one fucking part of the movie I hate. I hate watching
Oh,
those.
you don't like watching that?
Where he cuts the guy's fucking throat open and sticks the straw in?
I
No,
tell
I
you what, he
don't.
didn't use the proper like anesthetic for that. That
You know,
can't be
I,
good.
I, every time I watch that scene, I'm like, fuck. If I'm there, my fucking like throat's like fucked because I got hit in the neck with a pole. I'm just like, let me die, man. Don't stick the fucking Coke straw from a drink. Like that had just come out of like a fucking cup of soda or whatever.
Yeah. Um.
Just in your throat.
Yeah, I
No.
know. I was gonna say the scene after he's beaten them and Yulian goes to the hospital to see them, and we see one guy like start to talk back, but we're like before he can get a word in,
And he
Yulian
just
like
gets the
tosses a
chair
chair
thrown
at
at
his face, and I don't audibly laugh out loud when I watch a movie often. Like it's very rare, and I'm on my own. When I'm with people, I laugh a bit more, but when I'm on my
Hmm.
own, dude, I bust my gut laughing, and I was wondering what the hell I just seen. Like it hits his face and bounces off so perfect before he can
Yeah.
like get a word in. It was just amazing. I loved it. And then Yulian proceeds to blow like his snot on the floor for whatever reason. And then
Hmm.
anyway, yeah. This movie, nobody. Yeah, so there is a lot of padding, as I was saying before. You know, yeah, he gets in the car, gets kidnapped, rolls the car just to come all the way back home. It feels almost unnecessary. It's just there like we
Hmm.
got to have some other stuff in it because as a concept, I could see how this movie was very short. Like it was 40 minutes on paper, and like, all right, how are we gonna
Yeah.
stretch this out? But yeah, so I like to how towards the end, Hutch goes full Home Alone on them all and gets like all
Oh
the traps
yeah.
going and everything. That was
Um.
great. Uh,
I feel like I would have liked the final action scene if it leaned more to the more like crafty, like he's basically just set up like a fucking sword death trap, and that's
yeah,
how he has the advantage over like 40 guys, rather than him just being like an invincible super soldier who is
yeah.
like in no danger.
Yeah, well, that's again like where it kind of falls apart for me is that they have the setup for all that, but then his dad shows up and his brother, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And then they just all start shooting and kicking ass. And you see a couple of the traps in play, but it's
Hmm.
that's not the point anymore.
Yeah.
And it's
I mean,
hard
I
to
don't mind those characters showing up to help, but it is the fact that all stakes are just gone.
yeah, and it is
Um,
fun watching it, but it would have been so much more memorable if like he took out a few people and then basically had to just scurry off to a different hallway
because
and
like
try and be ready for something else.
it's directed by the same guy, so I'm brought back to the final fight scene of Hardcore Henry when he fights like the 60 like robot
Yeah,
clones, and Henry gets fucked up in that scene, but
yeah,
and he doesn't. He's not. Henry isn't necessarily like stronger than the other soldiers. He's kind of shown to be a lot weaker than most of them.
yeah.
But it's just like
More creative.
yeah, he's more human than them, I guess.
Yeah, that
So
kind
that,
of vulnerability just
and then he
brings a
rips out
different.
his own fucking eye, and
Yeah.
like,
Spoilers for Hardcore Henry.
oh, I mean, Hardcore Henry podcast was years ago. Everyone should have seen it by now.
Yeah, that's your fault. Not because you're a new fan that's just come and now we've spoiled this for you. If you haven't seen Hardcore Henry, please. You might get
Oh,
motion sick, but it is a very cool
yeah, no. If
original
you're not
concept.
if you're not a person who plays a lot of video games, you might hate Hardcore Henry.
Yeah, it's video game the movie.
Yeah,
Very
man, I
very cool though.
fucking love Hardcore Henry. I should
It's
watch that with my girlfriend next.
Oh, very much. I picked it up on Blu-ray not long ago. It was actually a pretty tricky one to find. I had to get it from the UK. But anyway.
mm.
So yeah, my ultimate problem with Nobody is just you can't blame them because it's the same people that have written John Wick 1 through 3.
It's
What's his
obviously,
name?
not
Derek.
a mistake that it's like John Wick.
Yeah,
It is
it's
what they
written. Here we go.
intended.
It's written by Derek Kolstad.
Hmm.
And yeah, when it's the same writer, of course it's going to kind of fall and devolve into that. But I feel like they had an opportunity to do something a bit different and have this guy just kind of struggling to do it because he's not John Wick, not have him just turn into John Wick because the script says so.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I still think it's fun. It was a fun movie to watch.
Hmm.
So that's my final thoughts on it. Is there anything else you wanted to add to Nobody before I dive into some trivia?
Um, its sequel bait's really fucking hard, but I
It
highly doubt
does.
it's actually getting one.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't see this as
I don't
a
see
Bob
that happening.
Odenkirk is leading a franchise of action movies. I really feel like this is a one-off.
Especially post Heart Attack, I doubt he's doing another
Yeah,
action movie anytime soon.
yeah. Just mid-fight sequence in the next movie, just heart attack again. It's done.
Yeah, no, that ain't.
Yeah, it does sequel bait. Would I be interested in seeing another one? Maybe. It depends. You'd have to give me a trailer that's, pretty out there, and it would have to really
Yeah.
sell me on it.
I actually did, just while we've been talking, I checked out Ilya Naishila's IMDb. He actually hasn't done that many movies. It's mostly music videos.
Yeah, no, well, that's what
Um,
I've known him for.
he's done like 3 or 4 for Leningrad, which is the Russian music circus backwards,
Yes, yep,
and then a few for Biting Elbows, and one for
yes,
The Weekend.
that's right. Yeah, for doing
False Alarm.
false alarm. That's the one.
The one Weekend song I know because you showed me that music video.
It's a good song. I love The Weeknd. He's great. He lost his voice a couple days ago on stage, and he's anyway. That's off topic. Doesn't matter.
It's on topic. It's the same director.
Well, yeah, he was performing and lost his voice and has been apologizing. And it's kind of been blown up on Twitter a bit because people have flown over from all over the world to see him, and he's like, "Yeah, no, I lost my voice after the first song. You guys got to go." Well, he didn't want us to stop it, but he's like, I can't give you this show I want to give you. But anyway, what's is there anything else? Because I'm trying to think. Well, I had kind of the plot in mind when I was running through it, but then we just kind of jumped everywhere. It got to the end of the movie pretty quick, and back to the bus. But it's all good. We talked about the movie before just diving into here's some random facts. So you have our thoughts on what we think of the bus scene and stuff like that. It's good. But is there anything else? I'm not sure. I mean, it was good seeing Christopher Lloyd just back and doing stuff. Um,
Yeah, he's like 94 or something.
yeah.
So seeing him do anything like action related
Is he like
is
94?
he's like 90 at least.
That's crazy. Can you fact check his age for me right now?
Yeah.
If I've got to guess, I'm gonna say 83, maybe. Ooh.
Christopher Lloyd. 83. Oh yeah, I am off.
What?
But he's 83 years old.
No way. Are you serious?
Yeah, he was born. Oh yeah, this is actually another fact I had. Him and Bob Odenkirk they both have a birthday on the 22nd of October.
They do. That was in my trivia.
Hmm.
No, wait. Are you serious? He's 83.
Yeah, born 22nd of
That was
October 1938.
honest to God, my right hand to God.
He was
I'm not
fucking,
religious. That was
wait,
a
no.
straight guess, random guess. Awesome. I'm feeling good. This is
Yeah, no, I was a little off. I think it's Christopher Lee who's like 90 something.
Yep. Well.
Oh, not anymore. He died.
Oh, rest in peace.
Yeah, Christopher Lee, Count Dooku. I forgot he died.
Well, I'll drop in some trivia now. If I think we're pretty through with it. I mean, our thoughts are there. You know what we think of the movie now.
Yeah.
And, some of the coolest scenes, like the bus scene.
Mm.
So, based on an idea by Bob Odenkirk, who dealt with a home invasion himself by trapping trespassers in the basement, he was frustrated with how the authorities dealt with the situation.
You are literally reading the IMDb.
Yeah. I copied and pasted the fucking most interesting shit. Dude,
I have you not open right now.
Have you not caught on that I've done that for like 20 podcasts?
Yeah, okay.
Regardless, some people can't be bothered reading. They just want it read to them, alright? That's what I'm doing. Don't cramp my style right now, okay? You're wrecking the magic.
I was hoping you'd at least like paraphrase it, so that way, you know, you don't.
Well, I usually do. That one, I usually
If I was your teacher right now, you'd be getting F plagiarism.
Well, all the trivia bits are from different people, so it's actually research. Boom. Get educated. Alright, well, try not to read them so much, and let me just tell you. This is falling apart now. The secret's out, guys. Don't ever look at IMDb trivia. I'm out of a job. Alright? Well, yeah, I thought it was interesting that, you know, the home invasion thing was something that actually happened, and how, you know, if he was secretly a badass, he would have dealt with it in a different way. And I think he had a couple of home invasions happen to him.
Yeah, I think I heard it was 2.
Yeah, poor bastard. I shouldn't even call him a bastard. I feel really bad for him, and I see how it's almost, you know, his own way of getting back at them and being like, yeah, nah, I'm actually a badass. I thought that it was also very interesting that the director ran some of the script ideas by a Russian mobster friend, as it's written here, including the Russian gangsters in their ob shack, and he confirmed how authentic and close to reality it all was. I just love the idea that Isla has like Russian mobster friends. Like, that's the most Russian director. Oh yeah, it's great. Oh, well, all of Hardcore Henry is Russian. But anyway,
like the bands he does music videos for, but like Biting Elbows.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know if the Biting Elbows band is Russian, but the Stampede and Bad Motherfucker are clearly in Russia.
Yeah, very much.
Videos. Yeah, you didn't mention the Stampede. The Stampede is first. Bad Motherfucker is actually a sequel to the Stampede.
Yes, that's true. I just always remember Bad Motherfucker. I really
yeah,
like
it is
song.
the one that got much bigger because it had boobs in the thumbnail.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Stampede is actually first.
I don't know if I've really paraphrased this. Again, I just copied a lot of things that I just thought were interesting. The brief explanation of the seven of spades and the two of diamonds on his wrist. Is how it's statistically the worst possible starting hand you can be dealt in Texas Hold'em.
That's type of poker.
Yeah, since they are the lowest two cards that cannot make a straight, and basically it just means if you ever see these two cards, you should fold immediately because you are most likely never going to win. And
unless you're really fucking good at like bluffing.
yeah, but yeah, there's a much more in-depth explanation to this, and you can go and read up on it. But I don't want to break down, how there are 4 cards between 2 and 7 and all the rules. But you get the gist of it. The production was pretty clockwork on this movie. The biggest argument that they ever really had on set was regarding the addition of parmesan atop the lasagna. Connie Nielsen, the wife, she was reportedly adamantly opposed to putting parmesan atop of the lasagna. So, boom. Yeah, it's not all drama.
The episode? You haven't watched Always Sunny in Philadelphia, have you?
No, unfortunately.
I'm reminded of a scene where the characters are like, all right, let's have a respectful discussion about problems in the bar, because they run a bar in the show.
Yeah.
And then somebody's like, how thick should we cut the limes? And then immediately one of them is like, I will put my thumb through your eye. If they have a minor disagreement, I'm just imagining that happen.
Yeah.
The second somebody like tried to put parmesan on the lasagna.
Yeah. No, that's what happened. That was the biggest fight on set.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was very clockwork. The entire movie was filmed over a period of 34 days, so it was very...
That's pretty short for a movie.
Yeah. And I can kind of feel it when I'm watching it, that it was, a shorter production. However, this film and its release, my God, did COVID-19 affect it, because it was originally scheduled to open on the 18th of August in 2020, before the pandemic hit, but then it was moved to the 26th.
After the pandemic.
Oh, yeah, well, it was going to come out before, and then it was supposed to come out on the 26th of February, 2021. It was then moved up a week before going back, and then it was eventually released, on March 26th, 2021. So, yeah, we were supposed to get it like a year earlier, but it was not happening with this pandemic. And I'm glad that cinemas are really...
that's not unique to this movie. Many things.
Many did. I think what's really proven that cinema is still alive and
Better
thriving...
Call Saul Season 6 also had a lot of production delays because of COVID.
Yeah, I'm sure it did. But
because it came out like 2 years after Season 5.
Oh man, you poor soul, you must have suffered through that.
Yeah, I was watching Season 5 like episode by episode.
Yeah.
And then by the time Season 6 came out, I was like, I'm not really feeling like watching this every single week. So I watched it all off. Why I started watching Season 6 a couple weeks before it finished, but that's not that important.
Well, I'm gonna thankfully get the joy of just watching through the whole thing. However, because I
have you started Season 4 yet?
I haven't started because I haven't reviewed Season 3. I won't let myself watch any more. So it's very incentivizing to review the show, and I'm gonna get there.
Why are we wasting our time doing this? Review Better Call Saul Season 3 already.
I will watch it. Don't worry. I want to see it, so I will have the review out soon for everyone. What was I talking about?
It was just the COVID delays.
Yes, the COVID delays. I was just talking about how the prime example of cinema being back after this pandemic and proving that superhero movies won't just be the norm is the reception to Top Gun Maverick. My God, that movie's made $1 billion now. It's still just pumping. But it's nice to know that, we're back, we're through this pandemic. The movies are not going away anytime soon. Sorry?
Have you seen the new Top Gun? I've heard it's pretty good.
I know that it's fantastic. Everyone keeps telling me, but I have just not caught a second to watch it. And I'm going to get better, and I'll catch up with a lot of movies as I go throughout the rest of the year. So yeah, I had the trivia that Bob Odenkirk and Christopher Lloyd share a birthday, but you've already fucking told me about that because you know everything.
I
uh,
read the same IMDb page.
so you'll see that the commentary was recorded a full 6 months before the film ever hit theaters,
Indeed.
which is crazy.
Well,
I'd like to think that you know the film's reception for the most part before you do it, so you could talk about, oh yeah, fans really loved it when we did this or that, but it's like you're sitting there going, yeah, no, we did this in that scene, and I think people liked it. Hopefully, it did well. Um, According to the director, Christopher Lloyd insisted on carrying the heavy shotguns without any assistance, which I respect for a man that's 83, would have been 82 at the
indeed.
time. I think.
Maybe. Well, like he's 83 now in 2022. It's probably filmed in 2020, so like 81.
Yeah. uh, it was apparently very difficult to find a kitten that would sit quietly inside of Bob Odenkirk's jacket.
I believe that as a cat owner.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd sit quietly in Bob Odenkirk's jacket.
I would too. I'd be like, can you tell me again that I have rights? You know,
Mm.
all the time. Now the scene where Julian beats the hell out of one of those thugs in the hospital by throwing the chair at his head. The guy that's been hospitalized and talking, Daniel Bernhardt. He
Was in Birds of Prey.
Yes, but I was going to talk about how he's like the stunt coordinator. He helped train Bob Odenkirk to
Mm.
begin with.
Ilya Naishula is actually also plays in the movie. He's one of the people
He
that attacks Christopher
does.
Lloyd.
He does, and gets shot first.
Yes.
Which I can't be opposed to it. I mean, if I was in a movie, I would
I
love to
guess
have that
he's.
role.
I guess he wanted to just die off quicker because he's not as confident.
My
in his
Hollywood
ability as
career
an actor.
started and ended in 5 minutes.
Yeah. Well, he was,
Um,
I think he also played some like an extra or somebody in Hardcore Henry.
I'm not sure if he did. He might have.
Um,
But I thought this was his first on screen, like Hollywood. I'm in Hollywood now, baby appearance. But yes, I was gonna say that. Yeah, David Bernhardt. He also had his legs broken in Harley Quinn, or Birds of Prey, or Birds of Prey: The Emancipation of One Harley Quinn, or Harley Quinn: Birds of Prey. It's got like 5 different titles, and I I don't think it's that bad. A lot of people really hate that movie. It's got some fun stuff in it. It's not that bad. So
yeah, no, I yeah, I did just check. Ilya Naishula actually played Henry in some of the.
he did too. But I suppose
I don't think because the picture of him doesn't quite look like when you see Henry's face in the mirror. Very
no, I
briefly.
wouldn't say that was him.
He didn't. That wasn't him. But I guess like when he was running around and stuff.
Yeah, I could see why, he was in the movie, but you're not having your Hollywood moment because no one's seeing you yet. Because you are the protagonist. If you haven't seen Hardcore Henry and you haven't gathered that this whole movie is shot from the first person, you must be mighty confused up until this point.
Hardcore Henry is definitely like. It is like an intense action movie.
Oh, it's
like,
full on. Yeah.
Not only is it in first person, but there's like maybe like because Hardcore Henry is like I don't remember exactly. It's probably like an hour and a half or something like typical movie length. There's
Yep.
maybe 10 minutes of this film that isn't an action scene.
Yeah,
It's pretty full on.
It just starts and doesn't stop. I've noticed with every rewatch just how like heart pumping the whole thing is. It just doesn't let up. Not
There's
for a
like
second.
the start, and then there's action when they're like escaping,
Yeah.
and then there's like a little bit more of like character introduction, and it's action for like 40 minutes. Then there's a tiny bit, and then there's the end.
Yeah. I think the only time it ever stops is when Jimmy's calling.
Oh yeah, I mean Jimmy's the best. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
My cat's name is Jimmy.
Oh, yeah.
He's named after Jimmy McGill, But he
Perfect.
literally came up right next to me just now when you said that.
Yeah, he can hear me. He knows. Um, yeah, as far as a Nobody sequel goes, I'm not so much interested in seeing that, but I am very much interested in seeing him have another attempt at either a styled of Hardcore Henry movie, if that makes any sense, like another first-person perspective film, or just seeing another movie from him in general. Everything
yeah,
I've seen so far has been a banger, and I'm very interested in seeing
maybe
that.
he'll do a movie entirely in reverse, like that music video.
I mean, that's an interesting concept, but I feel like that's been done in Memento. The idea of
Hmm.
telling a story backwards, but it's somehow meeting in the middle, and I don't want to explain
I
Memento
mean,
right now.
it's all well and good for like a 5 minute music video, but literally watching an hour and a half of people talking in reverse and shit would
Yeah,
probably.
yeah, okay, maybe everyone would just pirate the movie just to flip it and watch it properly. Uh, you'd have to. I'd do it as like a silent film almost.
Hmm.
I'm not sure how the hell you do a movie in reverse. It
You'd
just.
have, I mean, you just have to make a movie and forward. You could basically do it with any movie, and you just make it normally, and you just flip it.
I suppose, but then it would feel like it doesn't hold anything special because you could reverse any movie and just
Mm,
do it. I feel like you'd have to slowly sprinkle enough tidbits that you'd actually start understanding more and more of the story as
mm.
it goes
Because that's
backwards.
kind of how the music video is. Because
Yeah,
anybody who hasn't seen it, it's like a basically it's like a circus, and it starts, and it's just like everything is fucked up. Like
everything's on
people are
fire
getting
and it's
attacked
all
by like
over.
lions and shit, and then you find out, and it all leads back to one tiny little accident that
Yeah,
caused like all of it.
I really want to go back and watch it again now.
I haven't watched it for a couple years actually. It's really I remember it being really fucking good.
It was pretty good. I
And the
don't
song's
actually
not
buy the
bad
song
either.
either. It's pretty out there, but
Yeah.
we'll do that right after this.
Yeah.
um,
I'm also gonna watch The Stampede and Bad Motherfucker because those are brilliant like 5 minute short action films.
oh yeah, I was at work and all of a sudden, I had like my music plugged in, and over the speakers at work, all of a sudden, Bad Motherfucker started playing, and I was legging it to get over to my phone real quick and stop that.
Yeah,
I mean, I
can't have
love
this
it, but like all of a
forever.
sudden, it was like I'm not losing my job today. Not losing my job today. Gotta go. Gotta go. So yeah, as like if I could see anything from this director, I wouldn't want to see Nobody 2. I would want to see him tackle something else,
Mm.
but anything else, anything he touches seems to be something of interest.
It is
Um,
kind of funny. Um, I mean, one more little trivia from the IMDb page. Probably you might have seen this one, but the actor who played the wife just wanted to be in a series.
yeah, yes, yeah. I don't know if that's gonna come to fruition, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't know if her dream is coming true. Um,
yeah. Well, that was all the trivia I had down. Um,
but yeah,
I thought I
I
might.
just thought it was funny that we kept talking about the fact that a sequel is, not necessarily what either of us would want.
Yeah,
I haven't really talked to many other people. I mean, one of my mates absolutely loves this film. And so if you asked him, he'd probably say, "Yeah, fuck yeah." Um, but
yeah.
he
I don't
doesn't
know. It feels just a
like.
little too tonally inconsistent for me. It's like, is he a guy that's gonna struggle to get through a fight, or is he just John Wick? Is it
Hmm.
a hyper violent? I should take this serious, or should I be
Like if
laughing the whole time? I'm a bit.
if this was the kind of film where like during any of those action scenes, I'm sitting there thinking maybe this film ends with him just catching a bullet and dying, you know?
Yeah, I don't
Like
know.
imagine if like during like the fucking him burning down the like museum or whatever
Yeah,
or
it
like the
ends there.
object, he just gets shot and dies.
Yeah. Uh, it would have been different then, you know.
Yeah.
But as
Because
much as I
that's like
enjoyed my
I don't know
time,
what that movie's called, but it's got like I think it has Brad Pitt and he plays like a detective or something, and he just gets like killed in the elevator.
I have no idea, but you've spoiled something for me.
Oh, yeah. It's like halfway through the film, and it switches protagonists because he
Yeah,
just gets
right.
killed off.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Um,
I know
yeah.
films that have done it before. It's a ballsy move. It's a very
Oh,
ballsy
yeah.
move because then you only got half a movie to develop this new protagonist and make it worthwhile.
I mean, yeah, not you'd probably pick a character that was already there.
Oh yeah, but
um,
anyway, yeah.
but
For nobody, I just yeah, it was fun, but
yeah,
I've had enough of it. I don't need to
I feel
see.
like there isn't much more for this character to do.
Yeah, that's like and with
Like,
the sequel baiting. What more are we going to explore?
what is he doing next?
Well, like,
You know,
there's no continental, and like it keeps going. The Russian
yeah.
guy's gone. Suppose he could have a brother or something, but I
Well, he
just
did.
don't.
That was the guy who died on the bus.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like they'll pull something out where there was secretly someone else, and yeah, it really does rip the blueprint from John Wick just so heavily. Down to the son that kind of cited a lot of bullshit, and now the father's the one that's like, I can't believe you've done this. I was gonna say, like, summarizing, my problem is like, I had a great time, but what am I gonna get here that I'm not getting in John Wick already? Like, okay, you've got the villain right, and yeah, his son's hospitalized, and now he's gonna take a bit of vengeance. It pales in comparison to that first John Wick where he's talking to his son and punches him in the stomach. You're a fucking idiot. It's not
I
what
just
you did,
remember,
son. It's who you did it to. Like
literally the best scene that the father in John Wick has is when the guy at the car dealership is like, "Bro, your son fucking stole John Wick's car and killed his dog. You are dead."
and then just and puts the
Yeah.
phone down. Like, it
Like,
doesn't
that
compare to that. So
and that's also one of the reasons I really like because I felt John Wick's reputation get in 2 and 3 really goes beyond what is believable.
oh yeah, well that's a conversation for another time with the John Wick
Yeah,
movies.
maybe
But
we'll talk about the John Wick movies a
that
different
they
time.
would be fun to talk about. I feel
But
like
yeah,
we'd run into this
one
same
I
problem.
feel is definitely the best John Wick movie for a lot of reasons.
Yeah. So, in
Um,
terms of Nobody and the John Wick movies, if John Wick is just better and, those scenes with a better villain and all of this, they feel a bit more well crafted, well paced, rather than this was shot in like 34 days and just kind of whatever. What reason do I have to go back to watch Nobody over and over when I could just watch John Wick? What does Nobody really offer me that I don't get with John Wick? And that's...
Bob Odenkirk isn't in John Wick.
I know. And that's the one draw of this movie. If you want to see Bob
Yeah.
Odenkirk, it's great. He does a great job, and he is the reason to see it. But outside of that...
he really couldn't
yeah.
have done any better.
I'm
And he
gonna
was-
fuck you up.
Yeah.
Dude,
He's
for
the
me,
the last actor you'd expect to hear say that, and he pulls it off pretty well.
for me, it's the kitty cat bracelet, motherfucker!
Yeah.
And it's just
You
so
can see,
close
like,
to
the-
blowing his head off.
You can see the spit coming out of his mouth when he's yelling and shit in that scene.
Yeah. So we're just about to hit the 1 hour mark. That's my thoughts on Nobody. But I do have some other movie news that I would like to talk about. I don't know if you've seen the Weird Al trailer that just released
I heard about
a day or
it.
two ago, maybe a bit longer now.
I haven't actually seen it though.
So yeah, it's the one where Daniel Radcliffe is playing Weird Al, and honestly, it's starting to look pretty damn good.
Wasn't that casting announced a little while ago?
Yeah, the casting was announced a while ago, and I think
I
we
heard
had a
about it.
teaser, but now we've got a proper trailer. We've just seen some more things. We see that he had a relationship with Madonna, and Weird Al was openly Weird Al himself was openly talking about how funny it is that, like, when you go to search Weird Al in Google, one of the highest searches now is like Weird Al and Madonna. Like, people just did not know that this was a thing, and so I just thought that was great. And that movie, it comes out start of November. I'm pretty sure it does. I don't have it written down, but yeah, it's around the corner, and I'm looking forward to reviewing it.
It's kind of funny. It's completely unrelated to this. but I've actually been getting into Weird Al again usually because people who might not know, me and Blake were actually real fucking big on him growing up.
Hell yeah! I mean, we
Um,
probably mentioned that when we talked about UHF.
oh,
Uh,
I mean, yeah,
his
that would
movie, man.
be.
I don't think.
You were the one who's saying we should be considering new people.
Yeah, I'm I'm not sure that this movie, as good of like a biopic as it might be, is gonna top UHF. Something a bit different about actually like having Weird Al. Like this is Weird Al's movie, and I wonder
Is
if they'll address
Wait, is
that.
the new one like? I thought it's kind of like, supposed to be like the Bohemian Rhapsody or whatever, where it's just like the artist,
Yeah,
like a bit more of a kind of half documentary, half.
yeah. That's what I mean with like biopic. Like it's a movie about them and how they got to where they were. I'm wondering how they'll address the UHF movie, or if they will, because when it came out, a lot of people were very not big on it. So I
Yeah.
wonder if they'll gloss over it at all, or I don't want to see Daniel Radcliffe pretend to be Weird Al, being upset over the movie not doing well. That's just gonna make me feel bad. All right, I wasn't old enough to appreciate it yet,
Yeah.
but hey, man, there's nothing wrong with teaching poodles how to fly. That movie is it's
Yeah.
fantastic. So yes, that movie, we got some more news about it, and it's around the corner.
That's brilliant to hear.
In
I completely forgot it was coming out.
Yeah, and the last thing I got is some more news about the Spider-Man Lotus film. So you might not know anything, and I might need to take a few steps back to explain what the hell is going
Yeah, I'd
on.
like. It's what?
Yeah. So
What is this? Is this then like an MCU thing? Or...
no, so Spider-Man Homecoming came out, and there was one
Heard about
guy
that one.
about our age that said, "No, I hate the direction that you're taking Spider-Man. I'm making a fan film. It's going to be full length, and I'm going to make a proper Spider-Man movie." And he ended up getting funding like $100,000, Kickstarters, and all this stuff.
Was this you?
No, no, I wish it was me, but no, it wasn't me. I'm revealing my secret plan for my Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
And they, were getting on with production. Everything was well. People were excited about this. A Spider-Man film being made by people that were the biggest nerds of Spider-Man ever. They really knew how to just portray an absolute loser, rather than it's Tom Holland and he's got everything
Wait,
he
are
could
you
need.
saying? Are you implying Spider-Man fans are losers? What?
Yeah, we suck, dude.
Um,
I mean, we don't have millions of subscribers. Although you can always,
not
hit
yet.
the button. Yeah, now if
People
you wanna.
watching this in 5 years ago.
Yeah, dude. We got. Imagine this, like 10 years from now. Like we have well and truly made it, and someone's gone back in time to watch all these podcasts all the way through, and they're like, "Bro, you're on 5 million. Fuck off." my apologies in advance. All right. However, we totally did predict the future, and you should totally still subscribe
Yes,
if you haven't.
our insert number here, amount of subscribers.
Yep.
Um,
Perfect. See, we're thinking ahead, man. We're planning.
Yeah.
It's good. So they were
make
making
sure
this.
there's room for like about 10 zeros.
Yeah.
On the.
So, this Spider-Man Lotus movie, it was getting made. It was taking forever because it's a more fan-made project. So we were expecting like the development would take us like 5 years or something. And I'm not the closest fan. I didn't invest money into the project. So details here might be wrong and might not be entirely accurate. But
Those are the best kind.
I suppose so. It makes for a good story. So take this with a pinch of salt, please. Just before the film was ready to go, I think it was like a week or something prior. Maybe this could be completely fucking off. But the news leaked that the actor playing Spider-Man was a huge racist, or that he had said all these racist things or homophobic things, and within 6
I
hours...
just googled Spider-Man Lotus, and the first result is Spider-Man Lotus racist.
Yeah, look, so what happened was there were messages and DMs shared between the director and the main actor that were both very vulgar in nature, whether it's racist, homophobic. Again, I haven't read them, but what happened was when they were leaked, it only took 6 hours from this movie and all of its time in development getting made. 6 hours for Twitter to completely cancel and shut this movie down. They went ham on it and just tried to completely destroy it. However, the film remained in production and was still happening, and they were still persevering, but we weren't really hearing anything, and people were like, are you running off with our $100,000? What's going on? And it was only announced maybe 4 or 5 days ago now that the VFX team have finally quit. They're like, yep, we're done. However, we are going to show you a quick couple of clips, finished clips of what we've done. And those clips are the reason why I'm even talking about this. They look amazing. And I needed to get it out there in front of you and everyone else that they have a clip of him swinging and they have the music cues hit at just the right time with the swinging that I felt more emotional investment in this Spider-Man than I did in any of Tom Holland's movies over
But
the
you're
past
saying you
trilogy.
like racists.
No. I'm talking about the VFX and the idea and what they were trying to go for. It was so... I don't know, man. It just hit something personal in me when the music hit. It's got, like, hints of the 90s cartoon in its theme song. And it just...
Can you, like, send this to me so I can see
I
it?
will. We will definitely take a look at this after. You can find it for people at home wondering about it. They titled the video Spider-Man Lotus VFX No More or something like that. It's about 8-9 minutes, but it has the actual clips inside. And you see why they've quit and what's actually going on. The problem was when all this bad news was going down, people were just jumping on this and bashing it for the sake of bashing it. People were making fake messages and DMs of things they weren't saying, mixed in with the things that were true, and just really overblew it. So how bad these people actually are, I don't know. The director went on to say, like, when I was younger, I was a loser, and you know, when I was young, I would just say the most offensive things ever in group chats and whatever. That was just kind of what we did. And I don't want to get myself cancelled, but there is some part of that I can resonate to. I can understand.
I went to, these people probably aren't from, like, Australia.
No.
But as somebody who went to public school, I've been reading some of the things, like, while we've been talking now.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, none of this looks that surprising.
Yeah.
To me, like, I've seen a lot of stuff like this in, like, public school. Like, if these people were, like, in high school when this happened,
You know, they're all
I can
very young.
totally
I
see
mean,
that.
they've been trying to work on this movie and script and stuff forever since they were younger than me. And yeah, all of it's come back to haunt them. And I know that we're in a culture now where everyone gets cancelled for anything that's edgy, but I do understand how you can make that mistake being younger.
I mean,
and, you know, the offensive memes and crap like that, you know.
all I'm gonna say is nobody wants their Discord group chat made public.
No, but I don't want to defend anything they have said.
Yeah.
Again, I am more oblivious than a lot of people to what's actually going on. But with the scene that we've seen of them, or with Spider-Man swinging, I still do want to see this movie and what the hell they've made. And reportedly, it's still being made regardless of what's happening. They've gone through different VFX teams before. It was just very cool to see what they had done. And yeah, with that small scene, I somehow felt so much more like that Spider-Man without a single word being said over the course of an entire trilogy of Spider-Man movies made with the most money they could ever need. So, and that's saying something considering I've seen Toby, Andrew, and Tom all together swinging and stuff. I felt something more in just this new scene alone. So, anyway, I had to get that out there because I probably won't remember Spider-Man Lotus much if the movie doesn't end up coming out. But that is pretty much everything that I've got. I'd love to show you this scene. It's fantastic. And if you guys haven't seen it, it is worth seeing because it's been that good that all of a sudden it's really reignited this film and people have gone, whoa, that's what our money went towards. That's actually worth it. That looks really good. And Yeah. Anyway, any closing thoughts? Anything else you want to say about Nobody or Spider-Man Lotus? If you found anything or anything at
Um,
all.
no, I basically said my piece.
Cool. So once again, I have actually not written down anything for an outro. So once again, I will go through the dilemma of letting the podcast slowly fall to pieces and, watch that view count just start dropping off. Check the YouTube statistics later that yet 0% of people were watching at this point because it was done. I have nothing more to say. Just thanks everyone for coming and hanging out with us and listening to us talk about Nobody and a bit of Spider-Man, a bit of Better Call Saul and
Bomber
stuff.
and Griffin
Bit of
was filmed
bit
in
of
front of
Bomber
a
and
live studio audience.
yeah, no, we're in front of a
I'm
live.
reminded of.
Yeah, Auntie
Now saying
Donna.
that now, I'm reminded of Auntie Donna.
Yeah, Auntie Donna. Yeah, the whole show's in front of a live studio audience and no one laughs. Yeah, that's exactly what's happening here. For people that don't know, it is in front of a live studio audience and no one has applauded despite the lights going off saying that you should applaud.
Yeah.
It's getting really awkward here with the audience. We're getting some very strong glares because we're talking about them now. So we better get going. Thanks again, everyone, for watching. If you haven't already, consider subscribing or liking the podcast or something like that. Lets us know what you like, if you want more of this, or if you want something different, you want to hear us talk about something specific, feel free to comment it. I can't guarantee that I will cover it because a lot of people have different ideas, and we also want to do things that we're remotely interested in too, for the time being. I mean, in a couple of weeks' time, we're going to be doing something we don't want to do, but that's a surprise for another time. So thanks, everyone, for watching, and we will catch you guys next time. Bye, guys.
There.
Holy shit, you said goodbye. All right, now I'm ending it. Bye.